Hello everyone, how are you? I am pineconesushi, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from my regular crafting of keychains that I've been doing recently. So I am doing a project in between. This is a small project, it's not a very big one, but it's just something I've been meaning to do for a while. So as you noticed, I have this thing here in the screen, and that's just because this is actually a candle. So this smells really nice. I found this at a store, and I really enjoyed the scent. But it only came in this one size. I wish it came in a larger jar, but it didn't. But I did think that the jar size was nice, and I absolutely love the top of this. It looks like an actual latte. Um, like the foam from a latte that you would get at like Starbucks or a fancy cafe. So it's actually glass, okay? And you can see I have burned quite a bit of this candle, and I can't wait to use up the rest of this. Well, but I will be sad once I use up the rest of it. Okay, anyways, so as you can see, I do have a mini version here, and this one was chai spice latte. And I just wanted to show you the two different sizes between these two candles. Now, usually when we're buying candles, we do get them in this larger size, but sometimes some people they just need something small for their space. But when this candle is finished, I had come into the problem that I didn't know what to do with this tiny jar, since I don't usually put tea lights in here, like I would like a votive candle, but because I have a lot of other votive holders, I'm just going to show you this one, which has a match in it. But usually people would use a regular votive holder like this, and they would put their candle in here like that. Okay, so that's what people usually would do with something like this. What I did instead was I actually made this into my matchstick holder, because it is glass. It has like a sealable lid. Okay, and as you can see, I put a couple matchsticks in here, and I also added a strike zone on the back. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I usually do. So I usually, when I light a candle, okay, I should take out this here. I will flip this over like this for this particular candle holder, and I'll turn this on the back here on the strike zone. Okay, and then from there I would just take my match and I would strike it here. So I'm just going to demonstrate it. Please, if you don't know how to handle matches, please ask an adult to help you. Playing with matches is dangerous. Okay, what I usually do when I'm lighting my candles, I sometimes use matches, or I will use an electric lighter, which I will show you in a moment. But anyways, this is how I strike my matches. I just do this, and I just make a quick motion like this, and then I'll light up. Make sure you're holding the end of it and you're not holding it close like this or like that, just because you don't want to get burned yourself. It does hurt. Okay, so you do this, put a little bit of pressure, and go. There we go. This is how you strike a match. Okay, and after I blow it out, it is still a little hot. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is still a little hot. So what I usually do is that I usually take the spent match and I just put it in something glass. So that's what this is good for, this lid. I can just put my spent matches in here until it cools down, and I can just set it inside and enjoy my candles. Okay, so another type of lighting method I have for my candles, I have a lighter that's like this and a lighter that's like this. These are electric lighters with an arch light at the end here, and this one has an arch light as well. So I'm just going to turn it off. So this one also has a light, an arch lighter at the top. I am not turning these on, but it's basically electricity that goes from this end here to this end here that you can put in between a wick and it will light up. Okay, I kind of have been using these just because I don't want to waste too many matches. Okay, but that's up to what I feel like, I guess, at the time. And this one is a little bendy. Okay, and as you can see, it is a little longer. But yeah, these are the lighters that I use for my candles or my incense. Okay, I'm just gonna put those aside. So today, what I will be talking about is putting my matches, which I got these matches here. These are from the dollar store, and the reason why I'm doing this is because what has happened in the past is I've gotten a large box of matches before, and I was using matches often, and basically the strike zone, which is right here, or the strike strip, it wore down pretty quickly, and it came to a point where I would be like trying to strike and strike and strike, and nothing, like the match would not light. So this is why I came up with this alternative, just so that it helps me strike the matches. Okay, so these are all full. I don't know if you can hear that. There we go. And I will be putting in these inside the new match holder that I'm going to be doing. So now that this is all cooled down, we can throw this away, or you can just leave it on the side where where it can cool down some more, and you can just throw them in kind of like in a big batch of it, I guess. But please be careful when you are disposing of spent matches. The only reason why is that even though it looks like it's done burning, it doesn't mean it's not burning on the inside. So I usually just like leave these out just for a little bit in a little holder like this. This is just happens to be a votive holder, but I kind of leave them out like this, so that when I do throw them out, my garbage doesn't light up. Okay, and it's also because when I'm lighting matches, you want to put them in something like a glass holder like this, or just something that's non-wood or non-flammable, so that the actual burned part will not destroy your tables or your surfaces. So for me in particular, I have this IKEA table, and if I put something hot on here, most likely it will melt the surface of this table, which I don't want that at all. Okay, so that's what that is. So what I will be using today is this candle jar that I've already used up all the wax in. Like, as you can see, this is empty, and I liked this one because it was a small jar, it smelled amazing, and it had this like cute turtle on the top here. Okay, and that's the inside. I did clean out all the wax from here, and basically how you clean out wax from these candle jars is, or at least that's what I did. I had put the jars, so once all the wick has been burnt off, okay, so basically your candle will not light anymore because the wick is just done. I put this on a candle warmer. I let all the wax melt on the bottom here, and then once that happened, I had a silicone ice cube tray, and I basically poured my wax into that ice cube tray, and that particular ice cube tray, I don't use it for actual ice. I separate because I don't want wax in my ice. So once you pour out all the wax into the ice cube tray, you can let that cool on the side, put this back on the heating wax heater, just so that everything, like the entire jar, kind of warms up a little bit. Then I took paper towel, and I basically soaked up the remaining wax that's inside the jar, let it cool a little bit, basically did it again with another paper towel just to get any excess, and then I went to wash it. And this is how I got rid of a lot of the wax in here. Now when you're washing this, after taking the wax out, don't use your regular sponge that you use for your dishes to clean out the wax, because if you did not get all the wax before washing it, it's going to stick to your sponge, and you're going to end up with waxy, oily dishes because of that, because you cleaned the candle with your regular kitchen sponge. So if you have a extra sponge that you only use just for cleaning crafts, that would be a little bit more convenient for you. But anyways, this is what I did with this one. Okay, so this here, I really like this. This is actually wood, okay? And I did like this. So I know in my previous videos, when I first started this channel, I did some reading. So I'm just going to do some reading from here. And then we'll get started. All right. At Sand and Fog, we often enjoy using art to add finishing touches to the homes we designed. These painted lids allowed us to combine our love for art with our passion for candles. They are created by artists who have inspired us with their talent. Whether they are students, nurses, or full-time artists, they are helping us make the world a more beautiful place. Christy, Eliza, and Joe. And on the top here around, it has some like safety warnings there, and some information about the candle itself since I took off the sticker. This one says 100% cotton wick. Sustainable wood lid. Made with natural essential oils. So this was a really nice candle I had, guys. Please repurpose. Do not put lid on a lit candle. Do not use lid to extinguish lit candle. So basically what this warning is saying that is, if you have a candle that's lit up in here, okay, and you just want to put it out very quickly, they're saying do not use this lid to extinguish the flame, because we have all been taught in grade school, maybe grade school, high school, that fire needs oxygen in order for it to keep going, and when you put a lid on top of a candle, that flame will go away. But they're saying do not do that with this particular lid, probably because it is wood, and if you expose this wood to high heat, like a high flame like that, and put it like that just to extinguish it, it probably will burn the lid here, which will become a fire hazard. So do not do that. So anyways, there's some blast from the past of reading from the back of this. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to show you guys something else. So from this candle here, or this jar here, you can see that this is a strike zone, and it's not, obviously it's very different. So I chose this format because if this ever wore out, I can just put another piece of striking strip here. Okay, and what I did was I went on Amazon and I got this giant piece. I got this giant piece of strike zone sticker. And I know this looks like nothing now, but basically it's rough enough so that when you strike a match on top of this, it will light up. Okay, so we're going to start our craft now. So what I want is I want to get a striking surface for this inner part here. Okay, and let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this here. So I'm going to just trace along the bottom here with my trusty sushi pen. Okay, you guys will not be able to see it because the camera is covering it, but I will show you what I have afterwards. Okay, so there we go. So I've made a rough circle with my sushi pen. I'm just gonna redraw some of the lines that I have here. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Okay, so this is the circle I have. Again, this is just a really easy craft. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just roughly cut out what I have here. There we go. Okay, now that we have our piece, I'm going to now cut my circle. Okay, just like that. Okay. It's not perfect, but it will do. What I want to do, I want to place it on top of here. So I'm planning to put this on top of here. Okay, but I can already tell that my circle is too big that I've cut out. So I'm just going to trim it down some more. Okay. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is so that my matches basically have a home, and I have an easy to replace striking strip that I can replace whenever I need to. I do plan on putting this particular bottle I think in my kitchen. Or in my living room, so that when I use candles there, I can just reach over for for these matches. Okay, so I have to do some more trimming. Like that. I don't know what else to use these smaller candle jars for. This is the only thing I could think of. Some people, they do put, if they're tall enough, their cotton swabs in there, or cotton balls. They use them for their vanity. Let's see here. Okay, so this almost fits. I am going to trim it down just a little more. Just a little more. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to do a big cut because I want some of the wood to show. And yes, I am mostly eyeballing some of this. If you have an easier way to do it, definitely go for it. There we go. Let's see. Just like that. Okay. So, after all those little cuts, let's pull it aside. I now have the size that I want. I'm gonna trim that off. There we go. So as you can see, I have kind of like a small border between, and what I'm gonna do, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate the back backing. So this is just a sticker, okay, and then I'm just gonna put it on top of the existing sticker. I'm gonna press it down just a little bit, and I am done. This was fast. I know I did explain. I spent 20 minutes on this, but that's what I've done, and let's just test it out. So this will be the first strike. Okay, so this is basically a strike strip, or circle in this case, that's on top of a wooden lid. Okay, so I'll just do it like that. There we go. It works. Okay, since I cannot put I don't want to put my match on top of here because now this is wood, it's just flammable, guys. I just put it in my little votive and I just let it cool off there until I'm ready. Okay, so easier part now, I am just going to empty all of these little matches into my jar. Nope. Okay, so I have more here. There we go. And this is the last one. Okay. There we go. So now I have a jar for my matches, and the reason why I did it with the strike points pointing down is I don't want to anything accidentally lighting up, but yep, this is just for safety reasons. So now I have my jar of matches that I can just put away discreetly in an area in my house that usually needs matches. It could be like by the fireplace, it could be in the living room where I have some candles, or the kitchen where I have some candles, just to get rid of some bad smells. Yeah, there we go. That's our matchstick candle jar. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you learned a little bit of something, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy crafting with me and learning just this little upcycle trick that I have been using for my little tiny jars. I don't use this often for my tiny jars, but sometimes I do use my, see this one's, yeah, another matchstick fell out of it. Like this one here is another votive candle holder. This did have some wax in it, and I did clean that out, as you can see, but as you can also tell from earlier, I do put some of my votives in here because this is way too small to hold any matches, and it doesn't have a lid, so I do put my discards in here and let them cool off before I toss them out. Okay, please exercise fire safety when you're working with matches and candles, just because you want to enjoy your candles as long as possible without causing any havoc or chaos, unnecessary havoc or chaos. So please have an adult help you with whenever you're lighting matches, and please again exercise fire safety if you do so. So anyways guys, have a great day, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you again later for our next crafting session, which would probably be back to doing our keychains. Okay, have a great day, bye.